As I flew over the entrance, there was a sign, Bosque del Cabo. And as I sat in my favorite tree in the middle of Bosque, I watched Phil and the workers working hard, getting all in order for the first guests. Some of the workers lived right in the house on the property. The restaurant was the focal point of all activities. There was only one stove in Bosque, so the workers were fed before the guests. And then a baby, Derek, was there. I didn't know about him until he came. A big rounded roof open playpen was built for Derek, so all could work in the restaurant and still keep an eye on the youngster. Then the first guests arrived. I watched them have fun, and now listen to this letter that the missus wrote to Phil's mom. I wanted to write you and tell you how great we are doing. We never thought it was going to be so good. Up to today, we have had 8 international different groups of people, and they have been absolutely fascinated with everything. Some have said it's the best place they have been to in the world. We are thrilled. I am doing great in the kitchen. We serve wonderful meals. Phil is a great gourmet cook. He makes beautiful plates of fruit for all, homemade biscuits and great main meals, and garnishing with everything beautifully. I think we are going to make some money. We just had 3 groups and made $300 a day for 3 days. Can you believe that? Now here is Bosque as I flew over and peeked inside. Again, the restaurant was the focal point of all activities. There was no electricity, so the laundry was done by hand. A generator was used for lights in the evening in the dining room. Phil's new house had storage underneath, and Phil continues to fix everything. Phil is beginning to rebuild his original house for cabina number 4. The hiking trail, the creek trail to the waterfall, was very rustic and very slippery. Now, getting into Bosque in the early 1990s was a little more difficult. One had to fly into Golfito from San Jose via a slow DC-3, then either take a boat across the bay or fly a small plane landing in Puerto Jimenez, or drive a 4-wheel drive. This was the main street in Puerto Jimenez. It was still dirt. It was a happy town. There were all kinds of vehicles. Supplies and baggage were put in the back of this truck, a taxi truck. Phil's only vehicle was this motorcycle. Grocery shopping done at this local store. Puerto Jimenez had the only source of communication, both electricity and telephones. Reservations were made here. And here, another taxi. Everyone who came to Bosque del Cabo brought boxes of needed material. Here are some of the lists, as tractor tires, lawn mowers, lanterns, towels, sheets, pillows, weed eaters, fans, and some of their favorite food that Costa Rica didn't have, such as Hellmann's mayonnaise, Louisiana hot sauce, Butterfinger candy bars, clothing, dishes, pots and pans, and the list goes on and on. Luckily, the airlines took 3 boxes per person. 1993, the landscape is becoming exquisite. Everything is growing. All the critters are happy. Derek is growing. Guests who go fishing bring back their fish. And the new pasta machine, and everybody makes pasta. Phil begins to build his new house. Us macaws didn't know how much Phil loved us until we heard about the article in the Tico Times. He said, "We know scarlet macaws are getting poached all the time and we want to stop. This is one of their nests and we want to get volunteers to guard those nests. We will give the volunteers a place to stay and food." This is a volunteer and his tent where he was guarding the nests. This is a macaw we purchased from a poacher, and once the wing grows back, it will fly back into the wild. Then 2 ecotourists from the Condé Nast Traveler magazine, who were traveling most of the popular Costa Rica places and were not impressed, so they went to the remote Osa and drove to Bosque del Cabo. Here they were so delighted, and thus the article in 1993. To them it was the most wonderful atmosphere. There were lots of beaches and beach pools and some beach caves. Plus, they took pictures of Pepe, the macaw growing back his wing. They were 2 very pleased ecotourists, giving Bosque del Cabo some international fame. And then things began to grow. Phil's mother bought the lighthouse, and 2 new cabinas were being built, number 5 and number 6. Phil's house was complete, and his mother started to build Casablanca. Schoolhouse was built for Derek, and new sheds were being built. The restaurant was rebuilt. This was Derek's schoolhouse, and then Sol was born. And Phil still had time to surf.